What's up, Lou?
Not much, Ryan. I'm just here in episode 1 of the already hit podcast that doesn't exist yet but is existing now, Looney Duels, where we determine through factual research and analysis and power scaling who
Uh-huh.
is objectively the strongest, most badass Looney Tune ever.
This is a question that's been passed down from generation to generation. There's been hard debates. Is it Bugs Bunny? Is it Roadrunner? Nobody's ever said Porky Pig.
Nobody has ever said Porky
Nobody.
Pig.
No. Spoiler alert! It's probably not Porky Pig. In case you were wondering.
It's so sad. I was really in his corner, but we've only watched, 4 out of the 2,000 Looney Tune shorts there are, and it's not looking good for Porky.
It's not looking good for Porky. I'm just going to say that ahead of time. And I don't think things are going to get much better for that little freak.
No, but you know what I'm really interested here is I love seeing all of their abilities. Do you know what I mean? Like their powers,
I agree. Yeah.
Things that they can do. Because I think in the end, that's what's going to really matter. Because everything is so situational, and it's really going to be quite a treat, I think.
Yeah, we're really going to learn the abilities of the Looney Tunes, like on their skill tree. We're going to learn like what Bugs can unlock on his skill tree. I'm really excited.
I'm also wanting to see, how are they going to evolve, as they go through the ages. How do they adapt?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them go through quite a lot of cosmetic changes in terms of what they look like.
I'm excited to see the fall of Daffy Duck.
Yeah, what happened there? Well, to start, I will say that we are going by the HBO Max is Looney Tunes section.
I want to also clarify, not only we're going in the HBO Max order, the rules for what we watch dictate the short has to feature 2 Looney Tunes that appear in at least, 6 shorts to make it worth watching. We're not watching every short. We're not watching a short where, Bugs goes up against ants or something. This needs to include 2 Looney Tunes that are worth power scaling.
Yes, exactly. This is no, smile, Darnya, smile kind of show, okay? This is gonna be raw, Bugs Bunny versus, I don't know, Porky, maybe. I don't know if they actually ever fight, but we're gonna find out, and we're gonna find out which Looney Tunes will win in the end. This is gonna be a long journey, everybody. I hope you're ready. To start, we actually are starting with a short from 1965 called Corn on the Cob. And technically this features Daffy, Porky, and Grandma. So we have kind of a triple header tonight. Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, HBO Max's order is all kinds of fucked up. We're going to be seeing shorts in all the wrong places all the time. So our very first short is a colored UPA short.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. If we're going to be honest, it kind of sucks.
No, okay, here's the thing. It's been a few days since we watched these. I think the gap in the future when we record these will be a lot shorter between watching and recording. But for this session, it has been a few days. I don't remember a single joke from this short. I have my notes. I couldn't tell you a single joke from this short.
I wrote I have Daffy and Porky written on my notepad here, and under each of them I have things that they have powers that might have come forth or things like that. Under Daffy, I have written anxiety medication, and I can't for the life of me remember why I wrote that.
Well, in my notes, I wrote, Daffy is very calm and subdued in this.
Yes, he's got kind of a level head. He's kind of the victim in a lot of this. Porky and him are cops, and they're wrongfully chasing down, a grandma who's actually a robber, who's just dressed up like grandma, but also grandma's there, and everything that Daffy tries to do to catch the culprit, Porky does something that kind of messes it up, and it ends up with Daffy getting hurt. So I guess that's a point in Porky's favor. He's kind of a Jar Jar Binks in that way, where he kind of
I feel offended on Porky's behalf. You'd call him that.
I'm sorry. And I mean, technically, Daffy and Porky are working together. They're on the same team, so they're not trying to hurt each other. It's just what happens.
I like to point out with this short, if you've seen the hit movie Space Jam 2,
who hasn't?
You might know Granny in that movie was kind of badass.
Yeah, she was kind of a badass in Space Jam 2.
And when I watched that, I was like, they just made that up. No, Granny was just made badass in that movie because she's a funny grandma, badass, hoodwinked, Lorax grandma in that movie.
Your grandma is so cool.
Cool. But as it turns out, badass Granny has its origins in this hit short. Grandma is kind of epic in this short.
Yeah,
she beats up everyone.
Oh, she kicks the shit out of everyone, and with like minimal effort too. Just very easily bests not only the robber character but also Daffy and Porky, and she's just objectively the winner here. There's just no getting around it. Everybody else kind of sucks. They don't do anything. They never accomplish their goals. Granny just shows up and is like, "Oh, you whippersnappers!" She spanks them and she sends them home. And that's corn on the cob, basically.
All right, so we both agree Granny won this short, right?
Yeah, Granny won this short, and I think under her list of abilities, I think we have to acknowledge her physical prowess. She is able to just absolutely beat the shit out of anyone she so chooses. And I'm going to remember that, Granny, if you so you better keep that up, because I know you're going to show up again. I want to see badass grandma.
Well, let's be fair here. The first short we watched was Looney Tunes in its dying breath.
Yes, that's true.
For all we know, Grandma, we maybe when we get to the first Granny short, she'll be a little weak. Maybe over the time, we're going to witness her character development and how she became so awesome and epic.
We are kind of witnessing her growth backwards. We're like seeing the future, like what she's going to become. And that's, what an exciting time that will be, witnessing that. Because, Looney Tunes obviously has continuity and character development.
All right. Okay, so, let's mark on your calendars, everyone. First win, Granny.
First win, Granny. Surprising turn of events. I was really not expecting her to even be in this short at all. So, there we go.
So our second short we viewed on our first viewing was Porky's Duck Hunt. This is the debut, at least at our watching, of Mr. the Daffy Duck.
Yes, this short came out in 1937, and Daffy here is very small.
He's very small.
Compact even,
So one of the interesting things I wrote in my notes, and I remember this, despite being a Porky versus Daffy short, they don't really interact in this one a lot.
Yeah, it's Porky going duck hunting, and hijinks ensue as Daffy kind of messes with him a little bit. But there's all these little, like, non sequiturs that happen around them. Like, there's other characters. There's some, like, fish that jump out of a boat and start singing. Hunters. Porky has a dog named Jim Jim, which is...
I can't wait to see more Jim Jim.
I'd like to consider Jim Jim a sort of asset, something that Porky has command and control over. So I think Jim Jim is something that we can count as something that Porky has in his tool belt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when Porky gets into multiverses, you can expect a Jim Jim move.
Yeah, he's gonna send out Jim Jim like
he's gonna see Rain Dog and be like, you write me my Jim Jim.
Porky has a big old hunting rifle here. He's got a big old gun. He doesn't seem to be very consistent with it, so I'm gonna have to mark that against him. He's not a good shot, but then something...
Well, unfortunately, later, I think the liberals kind of take his gun away, unfortunately.
Yeah, the liberals came and
Looney Tunes falls to the liberal craze and they removed Porky's, Porky, high testosterone, manly character. They removed his gun. They made him a soy cuck. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, really, what the heck? Now, I will say that Daffy here, he's very violent as usual, so I'm happy to see it. Happy to see the beginnings, aren't too different from how he evolves. He's not, as crazy, though, as I expected his debut to be. He's just kind of a little wacky.
Yeah, they're still figuring that character out, This is his first appearance. He's got lots of friends, which is something Daffy Duck will not have a lot of friends as time goes forward.
Yeah, he loses that asset. Here he's got other ducks around him who also participate in the hijinks, but I don't know, I don't see them around much anymore, so I'm assuming that is some allies he loses along the way. So that's gonna really hurt him in the long run, I think, At least
I
Porky's
agree.
got Jim.
Jerky's got Jim Jim, who will be appearing later, I'm sure of it.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely positive they're not gonna forget that guy. You know.
I do want to mention
Yeah.
real quick. One of my favorite parts of the short is Porky like shoots his gun upwards and hits his neighbor on the bum, and his neighbor comes down and punches him, but it's like a little flick punch.
Yeah,
It's a very light punch.
that he just walks back upstairs, and they repeat the gag later. And so there's two conclusions to be drawn from this, okay, in my opinion. Either Porky is made of rubber and he cannot be harmed by such things, or his neighbor is really bad at punching, and we'll never know. That's an ambiguous one for the crowd.
All right. So in my opinion, at least, also, Daffy won this short. This was a Daffy victory.
Yeah, I mean, in a way.
Some of these victories are gonna be a little more abstract. Like, not every short ends with a cartoon character exploded like on the ground, birds floating around. You kind of gotta pick who's on top at the end, and I would say Daffy was on top at the end.
I think you're right. I think that Porky didn't get horribly maimed or lose anything too important to him. Like, he's still got his house and his dog, so he just got a little embarrassed. So I don't think he lost completely. He just definitely got a little bamboozled, and that's gonna be another mark against him.
Yeah, get used to that. Get used to that little pig losing. Just for clarification.
Don't get your hopes up. So our next one we watched was the Daffy Doc, which came out in 1938. This was a strange one, to say the least, I think.
Daffy Duck in this short is very Jushimatsu, that character. His mouth is open the entire time.
He's kind of slack-jawed, and I feel like he should be just, like, constantly drooling. And also the way he moved in this short kind of scared me, too. He was kind of alien. And I can't really remember a lot of what happened in this one, either.
There are two things that happen in this short. A guy does surgery on a football, and then Daffy Duck has his, like air sequence and then the air sequence happens again with Porky, and that's it. That's all three things that happen.
Daffy is working as some sort of, like, doctor's assistant. There's another Dr. Duck character, and he's determined to prove himself after getting, kicked out of the operating theater. So he, like, grabs Porky off the street. It's like Porky's just, like, walking down the street and he gets knocked out.
That meek little pig gets knocked out yet again.
Then Daffy's like, gotta operate on you, and he pulls out, like, a saw and tries to, like, get him. But I will say in this one, Porky, he makes for a good runner. He's running for his goddamn life here, and he's able to outrun Daffy.
Porky's gotta get used to that. I think he's like, oh shit, this fucking duck again.
But none of them seem to, like, the short ends, like, kind of almost feels like the middle of the short. It just ends with them both getting stuck in, like, an iron lung, and then they come out of it and they both start, like, inflating and deflating, and then it irises out, and it's like, oh, what?
Porky appears in the last third of this short, just so everyone in
Right.
the audience is aware.
Yeah, there's a lot of the other Dr. Duck character, and Daffy, and, like, this, like, operating theater, and the football. Not a lot of Porky, but you know what? I'm gonna say that this is a win for Porky because he does not get operated on. He's able to escape his captor.
Now this is gonna be our first disagreement, because I actually think Daffy wins because Porky never technically escapes.
Okay.
He's still in the confines of Daffy Duck's torture chamber at the end.
He's still stuck in the saw facility that he is.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's too ambiguous to say either way, and Porky got away enough that I think he could finish getting away.
I don't know. Porky's kind of a meek little pig character.
Okay.
I think Daffy Duck could easily catch that little pig again.
Okay, but Porky in this short, he's not even sick or nothing. He even says himself, he's, like, feeling fine. He's in the prime of his life right here.
Porky's
Porky
prime is still being a meek little pig
okay.
character.
He could leave. I believe. You know what? I think Porky got away. I think that's good. I gotta say for him.
I think Daffy shoved Porky into the inflation machine over and over again.
Until he popped. Oh, God. Let's move on. Okay, so our next one is Porky's Hare Hunt, which came out in 1938. Now, you say that this is technically Bugs Bunny in this short, right?
From what I remember, I might have read this wrong. But this is considered like the prototype of Bugs Bunny. Yes, it's not him by name, but it is pretty much considered to be like what would become him.
Right, so not technically, quote, his first appearance as Bugs Bunny, but maybe like the blueprint. So what I find interesting about this, it's a Porky versus Bugs. There is another like it's basically like the hare hunt episode where it's Porky hunting stuff, but it's a bunny this time. And there's a lot of like I don't know, there's a lot of stuff that Beta Bugs does that I don't know if he ever does again. He has a kind of Tails the Fox move where he grabs his ears and spins them really fast and he flies.
You say Tails the Fox. I called it the Rayman Hare move.
Yeah, like he starts like hovering around. I think he does this like more than once too, so it's not like a quick, little gag. Like it's an ability. Yes. And I don't know, we might see it again. I'm gonna remember it. I better see it again. I mean, why not?
The version of Bugs we see here is very much what if Daffy Duck was a bunny. That's what we're seeing. We're not quite at like the kind of wisecracking Bugs, the kind of like smarter than everyone Bugs, like the trickster Bug. This is very much he's in your face, screaming, running around Bugs, which he is essentially Daffy Duck bunny.
Yeah, yeah. There's no denying that. He's got some sick flips though. I did write that in my notes. He has sick flips, so he does some cool acrobatic moves. I think. Now on Porky's side, I have to bring up he has another dog, and you might be thinking, yeah. Jim's back. No, this is Zero the dog. So add that to Porky's assets again. He's got a second dog. I think that'll be. I think I'm gonna.
What happened to Jim?
Listen, Jim had to cross the rainbow bridge. He's got
not Zim Sam.
So Zero the dog is here. His accomplice, I suppose.
He was supposed to be in multiverses.
Bugs Bunny in this, or whatever this guy is, I'm just gonna say Bugs.
Just call him Bugs.
He says his iconic, of course this means war line. So, I mean, it's gotta be him, right? Like, that's the guy. It's just not quite all there.
No. Yeah, no, I think this is Bugs.
The building blocks of Bugs, at the very least.
Yeah.
It gives us a look into what's to come. So, I guess, that being said, so Daffy definitely came first, then, in terms of, like, making a crazy animal character.
Yeah. That's why later on Daffy's characterization kind of becomes filled with jealousy and hate because he was kind of the original star. So when Bugs kind of takes the role, like that role of the star, Daffy's characterization kind of becomes bitterness towards him.
Okay, yeah, I think I can see that. Well, what else do you want to say about Beta Bugs? What else does he got under his cap?
He's got a wife and kids.
Oh, that's right.
Which I don't think Bugs ever mentioned. Bugs, as we'll see later. I don't know if I could believe later Bugs has a wife and kids. He's kind of a fruity single man. Later on, I want to say.
Yeah, you know what? He shows a photo. For all we know, it's fake. Maybe it's just something he pulls out for sympathy.
That is totally possible.
That's something Bugs would do, I think. He's a bit of a manipulator. He pulls on your heartstrings a bit.
He gaslight gatekeeps and girl bosses.
Oh, yeah. He's kind of a dick. In comparison to, like, the hare hunt short we watched with Daffy versus Porky, like, Daffy leaves well enough alone. Like, once he's kind of, like, embarrassed Porky a little bit, he just flies off.
Yeah.
But Porky, I think, goes to the hospital at the end of this one, and
yeah.
Bugs comes in, like, purposely walks into his room with some, like, flowers, and then I think he, like, hits him or something again, just, like, one more blow for the way out. It's just...
Which is
wow, okay.
Which is really funny, because I feel like as Looney Tunes, like, as the brand goes on, Daffy and Bugs, like, in those situations would be reversed. Bugs would, like, know when he's finished, and Daffy would do that.
Yeah.
He would be the one who goes to the hospital and punches Porky.
So, gotta say, another loss for Porky. Rest in peace.
Stupid pig loses again.
Whoa. But I guess I'm gonna say this, mostly win for Bugs. I'm a little disappointed in his last little hit there. Feels it's unsportsmanship-like. Not like the Bugs we come to know, I think.
I want to ask you a question for this last one.
Sure.
How many episodes into this podcast will we be until Porky gets a win?
Oh, jeez. Okay. I think it'll take us exactly 6 episodes until we see Porky get a win.
Okay.
I'm gonna bet on that. What about you? What do you think?
I think it has to be within, like, 5 or 6, because he does stop appearing in shorts for a bit.
Right.
At a certain point. Like, at a certain point, they stop using Porky a lot. So we have to get his win in soon.
Yeah, we have to give him some sort of, comeuppance for all this, Oh, Porky.
Exactly.
That being said, we have our last short of the episode, another 1938, Porky and Daffy. Now, can we count this one?
Barely. See, when I was gathering these episodes, the way I gathered them, and maybe this wasn't the best way to do it, but it was going to take so long otherwise, is I would look who was in the short, and if there was at least 2 of the Looney Tunes that mattered in the short, I would add it to the list. And when I saw Porky and Daffy, I'm like, all right, this is definitely gonna be a Porky, Daffy fucks with Porky short. It's gotta be. This is a short about Porky and Daffy Duck being a domesticated group of friends, and Porky Pig is Daffy's manager, and then he fights a big chicken.
Yeah, he's like a boxing fighter manager. Daffy lives in his house. There's this pelican character who's got this very, how do I explain the beak?
Droopy. It sags.
Yeah, it's loose. It's he's the ring, leader guy. I don't know what to call that. The guy who stands in the ring and calls out, I guess. And he's got this beak. The bottom part of it's loose and saggy, and at one point they're in it, and it's just it's really, really gross. I hate everything about it. Of course you see the title. It's just called Porky and Daffy. Why would you expect there'd be some really big rooster character? It's not Foghorn Leghorn. I'll tell you that much. It's not him. It's some other guy.
Well, we'll get to that guy.
we'll get to him. Don't worry. I don't even remember at any point do Porky and Daffy face off against each other?
I think after the boxing match starts, Porky doesn't reappear until the very end of the short, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and okay, well then let's say this. Daffy is he can, what was it he does? He manifests an invisible object out of nothing. He makes a bicycle or something.
This is iconic bicycle.
His iconic invisible bicycle where and I think he says something like...
Let's just say this. If you're a fan of Daffy Duck's iconic bicycle, you're gonna love the rest of these shorts. It comes back all the time.
Yeah, it's there. You just can't see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Porky exhibits kind of some sort of super speed ability. He runs from the boxing ring after he realizes Daffy's not going to wake up, and he runs all the way back home so he can get a thing that he used to wake Daffy up in the beginning of the episode. That's called a setup and payoff, my friends.
I think we're learning throughout these first 5 shorts, Porky has one ability, and that's running.
Yeah, he's really fast. He's gotta run all the time. He's under constant attack. He's really hurting a lot of the time.
I guess technically it's a Daffy victory.
Daffy victory, but not a knock against anybody else. Because, what? Porky's his manager. Porky's his trainer. Porky's the one who woke him up. Don't you think this is a victory for both of them?
You know what? I'll give him
Wait,
that.
Oh shit,
okay.
Porky just got a victory. We were wrong. Our prediction.
Never mind, I take it back. No, he didn't fight. It doesn't matter. He didn't win. No, never mind. He didn't win. No, I take it back. No, Porky. Everyone hold. But forget the last 10 seconds happened. Okay.
It was a neutral for Porky.
It was a neutral for Porky.
And a win for Daffy. Okay. Porky was neither hurt, nor did he accomplish much of anything.
I need Porky to earn his victory.
Okay. You want it to come at his own hands, his own wit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see. Things are really shaping up in Daffy's favor, I gotta say. I feel like that will change, though, in the introduction of the true Bugs Bunny. Definitely.
Yeah. So where we're at right now, the kind of current stats, ignoring the granny outlier, she's kind of the weird one right now because she's not supposed to exist
Yeah,
yet.
no, she's not.
Between our kind of three main guys right now, which is Porky, Daffy, and Bugs, Daffy is the Chad right now. He's kind of constantly winning. He's super awesome. He's badass, but he's got to keep his eye out because there's a rising star on the horizon.
Well, I think I'm all loonied out. Definitely. I'm excited to see where this will take us, this exciting journey. Thank you for spending the time with me, Ryan, as we venture deep and into darker places.
Darker than where we are now, apparently. We haven't even got to Big Chungus
We
yet.
haven't even got to Big Chungus. Oh, God. Oh, Elmer Fudd. Okay. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I guess until next time, that's all, folks, and whatnot.